Alright, hi folks. This is Joaquin, and I've had him a couple weeks, and a lot of people always want to know a timeline, so I've been trying to think since I have no concept of time. I'm going to tell you I've been able to ride him 12 out of 14 days. We got some rain, and of course today we have the wind, and that's kind of comes out of the northwest, mainly the north. And my question to you folks up north is that when the wind comes all the way down here, is it still a Chinook? Because I don't have a jacket on. Of course, it ain't going to snow tomorrow either, so just curious. Something else I wanted to clear up is that if you look at my right stirrup, this is that stirrup guard at the top there that I come up with. And for people that don't understand, I've got it. For people that don't understand, I've got it at the ankle. I've got it right next to a panel. And what happens with these panels that are open underneath, this is where you get into trouble. And it happens mostly to people working cattle, but I know there's people that end up with round panels like this. And that's one of the reasons I came up with it, so it won't hook on that stirrup, because boy, it's a hell of a wreck when it does. Now, the other day you saw me riding in the snaffle. And I've had, I think, 4 days of riding on him. And I've been out fencing, checking fence. But anyway, I want to show you the correlation of what happened. I was riding two-handed to explain to him about his skull. And I wanted to transition to my body. Okay. So when I'm heading out across country, just walking, going over to check the fence, I just kept going in and out of sagebrush. And every time I'd want to go to the left, I just put my right leg on, and I got to where I was just rolling my calf, and he understood it. That's just walking, no pressure, no collection. Didn't have to worry about that. So now, if you can appreciate it, what I call a flat hand, I was riding this way in the snaffle, okay? I had 2 days of that, and then I didn't need it anymore. And I put the bridle back on. And the noseband, I don't need it anymore either. This horse is settled down and settled in. But what I want you to understand is this is when I ride with what I call a flat hand. Now with this flat hand, I can tip my wrist and help this horse out. Straight up is when you ride like this. Well, that'll come eventually. I've got things started on this horse. And that'll be when it's done. That's what it'll look like. But until then, that's why I do this, and that's one of the reasons I ride a split rein, schooling horses. My bridle horses all have Ramal reins. Anyway, that's what it looks like. Now the vaquero that made this horse, he did a good job. It's not like I put all this on him. He's already had it there. What I needed to do is to get it smoother and rounder and transition to my body for him to listen to. And it only took a few days simply because it was already there. So it's not like I'm so handy. I just trying to put the last piece on. And my friend Pete in Australia, you and I had this conversation. And this is a prime example of that. So anyway, I'm going to show you where he's at because he's kind of on the payroll now. And for me, the whole concept that makes this work is check and release. My hand will go up and down 1,000 times. What you're not going to see is my hand over here. My leg, I just roll my calf now, and on a good day, he just turns. And for those of you that ask questions about spurs, the reason I wear spurs is so I have something to back up this calf I'm rolling. If it doesn't work, I come in with my spur, and I put more pressure on him that way. I don't break a rib, I just put more pressure on. Back up, he figured that out. That's why I got rid of the noseband. And I can just sit up and ask him to walk backwards on a loose rein. So he's figuring it out, and I'm really happy with him now. And for those of you that watch Vaquero and Prieto, you've seen 3 different stages of 3 different levels and have it all come together. But you notice my hand is always quiet when I don't need it. When I do need it, it's up here. But one little thing I noticed a lot is that you don't want your hand to go past the saddle horn. If you end up schooling a horse like this, you're going to be in trouble. Two-handed, one-handed, I don't care. It doesn't work. You've lost the contact. He understands now when I open up and put my leg on him, he'll just go ahead and do that turn. And since he's rolling the cricket, it tells me he doesn't ball up his tongue anymore. He's fine. He figured it out. He likes that cricket a lot. Hand, check, open, leg, turn. Now I'm getting him to turn and everything's wonderful, but what I purposely have to focus on all the time is, Pat, how big a release you got? Have you got a release going? Are you able to release? That's what you got to think about, not pressure. He's going to be able to work cattle really nice. And I know you notice I very seldom make a cloud of dust. It's because when you work cattle, everybody uses the word low stress. Well, that's true, but what I use is, I think in terms of shrink. Every pound that's lost is one less dollar that's going in the bank. Release, release, release. And when it comes to working cattle, he's going to be fun to ride. And these ranch horses, another plus you get out of it is when you're riding around in the round pen, you're asking them to do all this. They're doing it. But now you put a cow in front of them, and all you got to do is get out of the way. So you just set them up for all this stuff and then let them do what they're bred to do. He's ready to go to work. He's on the payroll as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, when you're done, when I get into the western bit, this is what I want. I don't want a noseband. I don't want to use my snaffle. My snaffle has a reason, but it's not the finished product. This is the finished product. Now this is just a sliced report bit. That's all it is. It's on the premise of the curb strap. We've been there. We've wore that subject out. But that's where this horse is at now, and I feel very good about him. So thanks, folks, for hanging in there.